excited for that. Hello and welcome, everyone. All right, my mic is working. Excellent. Love that everybody is here this evening for our fantasy whiskey draft. And in a few minutes, maybe less, maybe more, we are going to bring on our guests for this evening. If you want to check them out, please do so. Their links to all of their socials, I believe, I may have missed some, are in the description. So check that out. This is the fantasy whiskey draft. So what that means is not that we're having a fantasy football draft. It is often what people revert to. We are having a draft for our favorite whiskeys. And it is like a fantasy football draft in that we are drafting our favorites and we are going to compete against each other. More on that later. That is Sheri from Bourbon Besties, who will be joining us tonight. It was her idea, kind of co-mixed with Steve McKean from Tomar's. Pretty cool idea. We are going to get into that. But first, here's the rules for this evening. So we have the draft order set. It will be shown in our all 6 scene. We'll talk about that at that time. We have 5 rounds with 1 minute to select your bottle. The 5 positions will be described below. Once a bottle is selected, no iteration of that may be picked in the subsequent rounds. An example, if Bryan selects Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A124, all batches of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof are now unavailable for selection. Unlike last year, we did do this last year, there is no salary cap, so the rule is that you have to have access to 3 ounces of it. That does not mean you have to own it. It just means that you have to be able to get 3 ounces of it for our regular season, and we will outline that in a second. So basically the positions are, we have the gem of your collection. We think of that as the quarterback of your team. We have an unfinished bourbon. We think of those as kind of like the running backs. That'll be your stags, your Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, stuff that isn't in a secondary barrel at any point. A finished whiskey can be any type, can be rye, can be scotch. If you have a finished scotch, it can be a finished bourbon, if that's what you want. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then finally, we have American whiskey or not bourbon. So it just has to be anywhere from, it can be American, it is American whiskey. It just cannot be labeled bourbon. It can be finished also. It just can't have bourbon in the title. It has to be an American whiskey, a rye, or an American single malt. And then world whiskey just can't be from the U.S. Has to be from anywhere but the United States of America. So that is kind of, I think, the one that people will struggle with the most in this draft, because I am, I think, the only one here who actually likes scotch or anything mostly from outside of the United States. Maybe some Irish. Don't know. But we'll talk about that in a second. So basically the regular season is going to go like this. You need to provide 3 ounces of your selected whiskey. They will be sent to me. I will then distribute them back out to the contestants and the teams for this evening. So everybody sends in 15 samples. They will get 15 random samples back, and they will then score those. So stay tuned for that content from the creators on this list. We'll be doing a lot of blind sampling, and then we'll have another live stream probably in December where we will talk about the results of this and we will crown a winner. It is not just going to be a popularity contest like last year where all of Bourbon of the Week's people voted for him and I got no votes. That's not why we changed it. I was very ready to do it that way again. So Sheri just had a fantastic idea, and I like that we have a winner and then it means something. So that's how we're doing. Let's meet the contestants.
If I wins again,
how's everybody doing this evening?
Good. Great.
We lost Bryan.
I feel personally attacked.
You feel personally attacked?
Yeah, no popularity contest this year is tough.
I mean, it's fair. All right, we got Bryan back. Perfect.
Okay,
so we're going to go by draft order and introduce ourselves, starting with Bryan. Bryan, you have the floor.
Thanks again for having me back this year, John. Super fun last year, and ready to kick everyone's butt this year again. So, except Chris, he cheated or something. His dad voted for him like 90 times, I heard. But I'm a member of 717, been on G&W a few times. So, me and John have been friends for a few years. So, really excited to be here.
All right, yeah. We should explain the dad joke for everybody who doesn't understand. So Chris from Bourbon of the Week is Chris Littlewood. Chris from Bourbon Besties refers to himself as Chris Big Stick because somewhere along the line you guys got called his dad or something like that. I don't know how that started. Can somebody shed some light on that?
Because I'm old enough to be his dad.
Ah, fair enough. All right, so we have Jonathan and Taryn from the Whiskey Break as Rhyme a River. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, I'm Jonathan, and
I'm Taryn, and we're Whiskey Break.
yeah, we've been doing YouTube for about 4 months now, so still kind of just getting into it, but having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, learning a lot. I'm excited that we get a distraction from the Bronco game that's happening right now. It's a little rough.
That's fair. I mean, at least you don't have Broncos Country Let's Ride this year.
Yeah, it's tough to be a Bronco fan right now.
I can completely understand that. Well, you guys were invited because your content is awesome. So
Thank you.
Everybody check them out. The link is in the description. Next, we have Chris, who needs no introduction, from Bourbon of the Week.
What's going on, Chris? Bourbon of the Week. Also YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I like to take a little bit more of a humorous approach when it comes to the whiskey world. There's a lot of great reviews, including most of the channels here. Dad over there is amazing. But yeah, I do a little bit more with the funny side of things, do reviews as well, and obviously the reigning champion here. So gonna try and pull that off 2 years in a row.
Fair enough. All right. Next is the Bourbon Besties, or the 2X Oakers, as they like to call themselves.
Good.
Would you like me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. I'm Sheri,
I'm Chris.
and we are
Bourbon
Bourbon
Besties.
Besties.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, it's like we've done that 100 times before. Maybe 197 if you ever watch the outtakes. So Chris and I have been making content. We actually started in a Pennsylvania-based Facebook group. Chris was doing live videos. Chris only started drinking whiskey about 2 years ago. And so our adventure has been him learning what he likes. I am an avid drinker and owned many, many bottles. So he had lots of choices. And I didn't want him to pick things because they were hyped. I wanted him to drink them all blind. So he started drinking blinds and giving great reviews of them. And that sort of led from the group onto YouTube and other social channels. That's us.
And I also take the humorous side. I'm more humorous than my son over there. And I'm going to beat him like I used to when he was a little kid.
That right there was a great joke. A great joke. More humorous than me. Stop it.
We're going to get canceled here before the end of this.
As long as it's
All
true,
right.
stays on.
All right. Next, we have Tom from the Bourbon Jerk.
How you doing? My name is Tom. I do a channel called The Bourbon Jerk. I do it with my son Tyler. He does all the filming, the editing, the heavy lifting. I'm just the idiot that sits here and drinks and looks at the camera. My videos tend to be really short because I have a very short attention span. And when I'm watching, videos on YouTube for, whiskey reviews, I want to see something quick, concise, and right to the point. I like your videos, John. I've been following Chris Bourbon of the Week for a while. Bourbon Besties and Whiskey Break. I just, new to your content, so I'll be following you guys more going out. But yeah, this sounded like fun, so here I am. Let's go.
All right, and I'm not going to introduce myself because this is my channel. So, all right, is everybody ready? Is there any questions on things?
I don't believe
I asked
so.
that twice during the pre-show meeting, but I'm giving you guys one last chance. All right,
I have a
Whiskey?
question. I have
No.
a question.
you have a question. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Can I go to the bathroom?
No, gotta hold
He
it.
raised his hand and everything.
That's the most polite he's going to be all evening, I guarantee.
Yep. As the bourbon keeps flowing, it's going to get worse. So
Here we go.
That's
It's
fair.
usually how it goes.
All right, we are going to start round one. In between rounds, we'll kind of talk. We'll leave some of this kind of area for comments, talking to our audience, and kind of we'll be our own draft analysts. We'll be our own Mel Kipers. If you guys have ever watched the NFL draft, if not, disregard that. All right, Bryan, you are up first. 1 minute on the clock. Go.
Awesome. So I think I'm going to go with the unfinished bourbon for my first pick because I think that's where there's going to be the most overlap. So, going to pull Stag 24A as my unfinished bourbon. So, don't know if anybody's had that yet, but it's amazing. A lot of Dr. Pepper notes and really close to the George T. Stag of last year.
All right. Next up, we have the Whiskey Break.
We're going to go also with unfinished bourbon because, again, it'll be a tough category. So we're going to go with Jack 10.
Yeah.
This is batch 3.
Yeah. Technically not bourbon on the label, but we all know it basically is bourbon. And yeah, it was between this and a different stag for us. So weren't sure what was going to go first, but glad we got the Jack 10 on the board.
Fair enough. I will take Jack as either American whiskey or bourbon, depending on how you look at it.
Beautiful.
All right. Next up, we have Chris, Bourbon of the Week.
Well, since these are coming off the board quickly, of course, we've got to go with ours as well. And we're going with the ECBP, and I'm going specifically the C923, which was a Whiskey of the Year contender for most. I believe that it's going to be a fan favorite amongst this group. So I think that you got to not only play into the whiskey community, but also what people here are going to like, because we're going to be the ones that are kind of figuring this thing out. So I think that's going to be a good one for everybody.
All right. Next up, we have the Besties.
Okay. I'm going to not follow suit. Are you surprised? We're going to pull from a different category first, because I feel really confident in my unfinished bourbons that I have plenty of things to pick from, but there are other categories that we felt lighter in as a group, the two of us being the group. So we're going to do American whiskey, and we're going to do Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye.
All right, let me get that in here.
Also, it's a phenomenal pick that came from Tomar's, and it's the Coy Hill warehouse. So I feel pretty cocky about it.
We can just cancel right now. We won. It's over. Y'all are done. Just go home.
It's like me getting Saquon, right?
I mean, so far that hasn't won you your league. All right. Next up, we have the Bourbon Jerk. Tom, take the floor.
All right. So seeing how we're kind of going unfinished and getting these off the board, my understanding is these are all going to be blind, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull Rare Breed.
Okay. What position are you drafting that for? Your unfinished bourbon? Or
that would be the unfinished bourbon. Yeah.
Copy that. Wild Turkey.
Not nearly as stylish as some of these other picks, but in a blind, I mean,
hey, you gotta go solid. All right, I am next, and I need to put mine up here. Okay, so all hitters, no quitters is my team name, if you haven't noticed. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with my American whiskey. So, my American whiskey, since I said that Jack Daniel's can be either, I am going to go with Jack Daniel's 12-year, unlike the 10-year that was already taken, as my American whiskey off the board. And we're going to All of Us again. If the button works. There we go. Okay. All right. What do you guys think about someone else's pick that you enjoyed?
I think Rare Breed is a great pick.
I got to agree with that. I think Rare Breed is going to stand out because it's going to be everything's kind of a little bit different, but Rare Breed's kind of going to hone in on those traditional notes that most of us love in the whiskey community. So
I'm interested to try that Stag 24, just because I don't get exposed to a lot of stags here.
Yeah.
Ones that I've had have been amazing. So, even if it's just here in a blind, I'm excited to try that.
Yeah, that could be number one in a blind.
Yeah, we were between doing a stag as well.
What that was the 24. What's the proof on that?
24A.
24A was the 131 one. 131 proof for the 24A.
127.6.
Oh, that's the lower one. Okay, 127. Okay. Yeah, I think I had 24B. I think that's the 128, 131.
I also love all the Jack Daniels. I mean,
A
a
lot of Jack Daniels going early.
Hey, John, which Jack Daniels 12 is that? Is that this year's or last year's?
It's batch 1, so it is last year's.
Okay, yeah, that one was killer.
Yeah.
Please pick that as American whiskey.
So we got three unfinished bourbons and then 2 American whiskeys.
Yep.
And then what was the other one? Or was it 3? Was it 4 unfinished?
I had 4 unfinished.
4 unfinished.
4.
Yeah. 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see what I felt like the unfinished bourbon I went early because again I think that was the most overlap that was going to happen.
For sure.
Yeah, you can almost sneak a gem into the unfinished bourbon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I think a lot of those can overlap as.
Yeah.
Can I just want to, I don't want to be this person, but John, what did you pick for yours?
Jack Daniel's 12 year.
Jack Daniel's 12 year.
Yeah, they picked the 10 year. Thank you.
Because the American, and it was for the American whiskey, right?
That is correct.
Is that not overlap with another Jack Daniel's?
No, it's specifically written in the rules. Number 4, American whiskey or non-bourbon must be a whiskey from the USA, must not be labeled bourbon or fit the characteristics of bourbon, i.e. not Jack Daniel's except rye.
Man, it's like I wrote the rules.
Somebody parsed the
You're real
rules here.
picky about them.
So Jack Daniel's 12 counts still?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little different.
Because he's the commissioner.
There's your ruling on that
We're
one.
using it as a bourbon. We're using it as not bourbon. We're using it as non-finished. We're using it as a rye. It's just a lot of iterations here. Just making
Jack
sure.
Daniels is everywhere.
It's true. It is everywhere. All right. Let's get to a few comments.
And we're never invited back.
That's not true at all. All right. Johnny Dean is in the house. Cheers and let's go Steelers.
Boo.
Boo.
Go Birds.
No birds.
Somebody in the wrong chat maybe, but asking for fantasy advice. Yo, do I trade Devontae Smith, Deontay Johnson, and Bijan for Amon-Ra and Saquon?
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
Absolutely not, unless you're the other way.
Well, yeah,
If you're getting Amon-Ra, then yeah, go for it.
yeah, if you're getting Amon-Ra and
Yeah.
Saquon, yeah, but that should be vetoed.
My wife says, nope, that's not the right one. Those are some snazzy shirts you got there, Bourbon Besties.
Yep.
Those are
Look at that.
available in my merch store. The link is in either the description or the chat. Bunch of comments from people who are here, and then Debbie Connolly says, hey, so Chris's actual mom.
True story.
All right. Is everybody ready for round 2?
Oh, I just have to say the Bourbon Jerk has the comment of the night with "Go Lions." Hell yeah. Beat them Cowboys. Okay.
They're really sticking it to him right now.
I just looked 34-6. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
That's gracious.
I don't feel bad at all.
If there's one thing that we love here in Philly, aside from a Philly win, it is a Cowboys loss. So
Thank you.
love it.
Type shit.
Love it.
Yes.
All right. Without any further ado, we're going to get to round 2. Did not mean to rhyme there, but it happens. All right. And that is me on the board.
Another check.
Do the thing, Stream Deck. Okay. All right. So with my second pick, there's a lot of places I could go here. I think there's a lot of fantastic whiskey that is yet to be picked. But I am going to go gem of my collection. And I think there's really a lot of places that I could go with this and a lot of bottles in my collection that I could do. But there's one that sticks out as possibly the whiskey of the year for me. And that is Old Fitz 13 VVS. This is 2024's Old Fitz, and it is fantastic. So that is the gem of my collection. 13. Yes. That says 23. Need to fix that. So next up, since this is a snake draft, we are going to the Bourbon Jerk. Tom, you are on the clock.
All right. I see what you did there. Go for your big hitter. I like it. You know what? I hadn't put a whole lot of thought into what I was going to pick ahead of time, but I think I'll go with the gem. And I'll pull out the 13th Colony Double Oaked from last year.
Great choice.
That was my favorite bourbon of the year for 2023 by quite a bit.
And that is your GC. It's not wrapping text because it's being stupid. All right. Thank you, Tom. Moving on to the Bourbon Besties. You are on the clock.
Hello. Hi. We're ready.
Are you ready to be part? Are you ready to be part of the 2X Okers? Yeah. All right. Here we go. So we're gonna take our world whiskey. We're going with one of my favorites, the Redbreast 15.
Just like that.
Look, Chris is hurting right now. I don't. That's a good.
Chris, it's all you.
Oh, am I on the clock? Once
Yeah,
they get this,
I can
once they
restart
get
it
this,
too, if we need to.
no.
I had my mic
I'm
muted.
good. I'm good to go. We are looking at. I'm gonna go with my gem as well, just because a lot of gems are going off the board here, and this is thanks to the Bourbon Besties that I even have a chance to put this on the board. They were generous enough to make sure I got it in time for the draft, and that is going to be Russell's Reserve 15.
I
Another
almost put it before you
2024
actually said
whiskey of
it.
the year. I knew once I saw it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that, but I think that's going to be a big one. Another good one to put on the board.
I think it's going to be a fantastic option. All right. The Whiskey Break, or Rymea River, actually, is your team name. You are on the clock.
So we're gonna go with world whiskey too because we don't have a lot of world whiskey, so we got to get this on the board. So we're gonna go with Found North Batch 7.
Yeah, technically world whiskey. It's all Canadian whiskey, but this drink's the closest to bourbon that we could possibly find, and I think it'll do pretty well in the blind.
Yep.
I'm gonna rewrite batch because I misspelled it. You can tell I don't type much. So, awesome pick. You said batch 7?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, moving on to Bryan or Happy Dreamin'. What you got?
Awesome. I am going to go with my American whiskey, and I am going to go with Twice Barrel Jack Daniel's Rye.
Excellent choice. You did that
That is
faster
the
than I could
heritage,
type it.
yes.
That is the 2023 special edition, correct?
2023, yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Back to all of us, if my stream deck works correctly. All right. What'd you guys like in round 2?
That was a big hitter round, I think, overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try the Found North. I've been hearing good things about them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's really good. That particular batch as well.
Yeah, this one's definitely a little more oaky. So if you like high age statement bourbon, that's what it tastes closest to. But that Jack Daniel's Choice Barrel is definitely going to score well with us because that's
Yes.
potentially
Love
Taryn's
it.
favorite bottle of all time.
We're hoping to snag it maybe in the later rounds, but you beat us to it.
I'm also not. I don't have too much of the world whiskey, but I know that Redbreast is a fan favorite amongst the whiskey community as far as the bourbon community goes with some world whiskey stuff. So I'm excited to try that. Found North, I don't have a lot of experience with at all, so I'm excited to see if I can get one of those.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, every single one of I didn't have the 2023 release of the Heritage Blend from Jack, but the one I have is delicious. And then I'm really excited if I get my hands on one of those. The 13th Colony Double Oaked was really good from last year. They're coming out with their 2024 release pretty soon. And then so is that old people have that Old Fitz as a whiskey of the year. So
Yeah.
a lot of good picks that round.
I'm praying that we get your pick, Chris, because I know I don't like it, so that I can rank it really low.
I'm praying you get it and you try it and you're like, damn, I do actually love it.
Imagine if I blinded it and was like, oh my God, 9 out of 10. It would be mortifying for me.
My favorite whiskey of all time, and you just gave it up to me.
I mean, I think what's even worse is the fact that Chris used our gift against us. That was dirt. That was dirt. You know it.
You play to win the game. That's okay. No TV, no television. No TV, no television.
No Xbox. You're done.
It's fine.
You guys are just taking this joke places. All right.
Hey, friend Frank. Hey, Frank.
What up, Frank?
Okay. We're actually a little light on comments tonight, which is kind of surprising. Might just be because it's so early and football is also happening. But Frank Rivera in the house. Friend of many of us.
He's okay.
Everybody loves watching Dallas get spanked.
Yep.
That's so true.
Yep.
He's a New York fan, though, so...
I'm a Packers fan, and I love seeing Dallas get spanked.
Oh, a Packers fan. I don't know.
I think we just had a civil war in the chat.
You know what? I was a little sore with John when he said he was an Eagles fan.
Hey.
What's wrong with Eagles fans?
And, you know, you guys that's where you're from. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. I just hate like Lebowski says, I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa. Who invited?
Take this. Somebody kick him out of the chat.
Look, we got to be okay with differing opinions here, all right?
Accepting. It's a safe space.
This is Whiskey Tube, all right? We're trying not to be toxic.
Right.
I'm not sure about this comment, but it says at Bourbon Besties, don't press send.
Also
not
sure
sure what that means.
Don't
Same.
know.
Frank does also apparently love watching Dallas lose.
Because he watches
Tiffany
his
Hensel. Tiffany Hensel, cheers everyone, go Lions.
That would be my wife.
Okay, all right, awesome.
Checking out the stream.
Glad to have everyone we can in stream. It's a fun time. All right, is everyone ready for the next round? What?
Let's go.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to everyone here. Social links are in the chat. Right now, I'm gonna go over. I didn't preface this very well at the beginning because I was trying to get everything going, but I'm doing a giveaway this evening. I'm actually possibly doing two. I'm gonna try something new that I've never done before, and that's for super chats. Super chats, if they are $5 or more, enter you to win a bottle. If you comment at all, you are entered to win some of our brand new merchandise. We have brand new G&W hats. They are black. They are trucker hats. What's not to like? So, if you have a comment,
into it. Look, he beat you.
comment.
He can't even spell.
What was spelled incorrect?
Why is there an exclamation point before hat?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what
like
is
a Discord /gamer thing. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I forgot all these old heads were in the chat here tonight.
Wow.
Dad.
All right, comments for merchandise. If you guys want super chat, we might be giving away this excellent bottle of Russell's Store Pick. It is a Tyrone F, and it's from one of my favorite stores. So if we get super chats tonight, that enters you to win that. So, everybody ready for the next round? Brian, are you good?
I'm good.
All right, you are on the clock.
Awesome. I had to get way up on the top shelf for this one. I even get my little ladder out to get it. But we're going to go with George T. Stagg, last year's release.
As
the gem of the collection.
Hard to beat GTS 2023.
Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right. The whiskey break. You are on the clock.
We are going to go with our finished whiskey. And this probably won't come as a surprise, but it is a barrel seagrass, but the gray label.
Yeah. Taryn in particular, a huge seagrass fan in
Yes.
general. We actually usually like the normal version a little bit better, but we think this older 16-year version might do a little bit better
In the
in
blind.
the blind.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Chris from Bourbon of the Week. You are on the clock.
I am going to get my world whiskey out of the way because I literally may have 2 in my collection. So I'm going with, I've unopened. I won this bottle maybe 2 years ago from a I don't even remember what I won it from. Gold Spot Irish whiskey. I believe it's the 9-year. People say it's good.
Okay.
There's a green spot and a gold spot, and the gold spot is a better version than the green spot. And I don't know about any of the spots, but that's my spot for my world whiskey. So that's what we're going with.
I love the usage of the word spot a lot. All right. Bourbon Besties, you are on the clock.
Yes, it's our turn.
Okay. Are you ready?
He said Bourbon Bessie's on the clock.
That's us.
Yeah.
We are going to do our gem of collection.
Uh-oh.
It was tough. It was
Wait,
tough.
not that one.
Yeah, this one.
No. You can't put Basil Hayden in there.
Stop it.
I'm kidding.
We're going to do the Remus Repeal 5.
Oh, great pick.
That's the gem of the collection.
Yep. I got you. I'm on top of it, kind of.
You're doing great.
All right. Next up, Tom the Bourbon Jerk. You are on the clock. Oh, shoot. We lost him. Hold on 1 second. All right. The Bourbon Jerk. Something happened. Don't know if it... All right, Tom, we're going to reset you real quick. Give me 1 sec. Besties, back to Tom. All right, you are on the clock.
All right, I'm going to do my American whiskey. And I'm going to go with the Westward Cask Strength Single Malt.
Great choice. Malt. All right. I am on the clock. So I'm not gonna wiffle waffle here. We're gonna just do it. Since all of the world whiskeys are going off the board, and a lot of Irish whiskey as well, I am going with Redbreast Cask Strength. It is not the 15, so it is still available. It is a 12-year-old. It comes in at 116.2 proof, which it's very surprising that they put proof on the bottle because that is mostly just an American thing. So, red. Is my world whiskey. Except that I put that into the wrong place. Heh. All right. Let's get back to all
Can you not
six.
hear
We
us?
have 3 rounds done. No, I cannot hear you when you are not on the all 16.
Can we get a definition of iteration for us, please?
Sure.
We're throwing the challenge flag on that pick.
Okay.
I was looking
On
for
the
it.
Redbreast cast strength.
Yeah, and Redbreast was already taken for a world whiskey.
Yeah, Redbreast 15 was taken.
Okay, so that just takes out all Redbreast 15s.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like if you take out Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or Elijah Craig Small Batch. Like they're different age stated iterations, like the Jack Daniel's 10 and 12 earlier.
Okay. Just checking, just following up.
Same.
Timeout
same.
removed.
There's a timeout for that.
We were playing a whole different game. We made this way harder on ourselves than we had to.
You smell that?
Chris also was making it harder on
You,
himself.
you smell that? I smell
that right?
collusion.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that just ruined the joke. Never mind. Please continue.
You got some chuckles from elsewhere. You're fine.
Jesus.
I forget what was even
not
picked
your
that round.
picks that you guys really enjoyed.
What did everybody even pick? I don't even remember.
Well, I'm updating it currently, so
Okay.
you can. I guess you can't really see the stream.
I got you, sure. I got it on the side.
I,
just small
I
over there.
can't even read the laptop.
Let's all recap.
13th Colonies double. Wait, that was last round.
Yeah, 13th Colony Double Oaked was Tom's pick for the last round. So we got. I'm doing it in kind of reverse order because it's easier for me. You picked Gold Spot.
Great pick. Great pick. Big fan. If you guys haven't tried it, you should. You should try it.
It's not bad.
Have you
Some
had
of
it?
us will.
Does anybody
Yeah.
actually have it?
We have a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
That
fans
was
of
our
Irish whiskey?
That was our emergency pick.
Okay.
I think it's like back and forth between that or Redbreast cast strength for like if you like Irish.
I hate Irish whiskey, so I'm gonna literally pick mine last for.
His is just like normal Jameson.
That's what Gold Spot is.
No, I was just
I was like, dang, it's can't
Better
be
than
that.
that.
Literally,
No.
Jameson was my other world whiskey that I have in my collection.
No, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Gold Spot is distilled by the same place that distills the Redbreast. I think it's
Yeah.
Middleton Company. So,
They're all like the same.
so
company
I'm
slash-
interested in the seagrass. I know we're not all going to get a chance to try it, but
Yeah.
I guess talk to me about more expensive seagrass because that's really all I see it as.
Yeah, I think it's a lot oakier than you'd expect. I love just barrel seagrass straight.
Mhm.
It's
This is
one
just
of my
higher
favorite
age
bottles of all
whiskey in the
time.
blend.
Well, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it started as 16-year-old rye instead
Yeah.
of non-age dated rye, and then they did the same finishing barrels on it. So yeah, if we're just picking randomly or just like on a random day, I'd say the normal one's probably better, especially at like $80 compared to.
Yeah.
and
But in a
that's-
blind,
yeah,
it does well.
it kind of the gray label kind of rounds it off a little bit. It's not as like punchy or like crazy finish notes on the nose. It's a little more put together.
Yeah.
I saw that there's a label out for a toasted.
Just
seagrass.
saw that
That's-
today. Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
interested in that for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Cumming Whiskey for the beautiful
That
work
guy's
he
got
does for the
everything.
industry.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's right where I found it. Exactly.
Love him. I actually said hi to him at Bourbon Fest. It was more awkward than I wanted it to be, but just a reminder, Super Chats enter you to win a bottle of Wild Turkey. It is a Tyrone F. So thank you to the 4. If you decide to add a Super Chat to the thing, you will have a 20% chance of winning. Right now, each person has a 25% chance. It's great. So, giveaways for hats. Man, GTS is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
That was kind of the plan.
Yeah.
You have the whole stag profile cornered too. So
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah, if you like Stag, this guy's gonna win some votes.
He's already, he's the top of my list so far just off of the bottles that he shows. So
Yeah. Some great ones. I have a GTS 23 that I'm going to open when my child is born in December, but I didn't quite
Wait,
want
is
to
that
throw
girl-
that in there. So, what was that, Sheri?
Is that a girl or a boy?
I said child.
I know. I just thought I could, maybe.
It was so close.
I know.
We know what we're having. We're just not telling anybody. So, it's
Live on air tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm pretty sure my wife would walk down from upstairs and strangle me to death live. So we're not gonna do that.
Sorry, Faye.
So,
Or she could strangle
right.
Chris.
Yeah, don't mess with a pregnant woman.
Sounds like good content.
I would have slipped up. I'll be honest with you. If I knew, I would have slipped up.
I have only done it twice,
Oof.
and thankfully, one of the times the people did not hear me, so we're good to go.
Nice.
It's really tough when you have a secret and you
And
have
now
to be
it's on
so
your
careful.
mind. Too.
Right. So I literally have to think about it as my child, not gender specific. So then it's like a whole thing.
That's very 2024 of you. I like that.
Oh my God, please don't. All right. Are we ready for the next round, the fourth round? We're blowing through this, by the way. We're 6:42. We have 3 rounds in the books. I think we've got some great bottles picked. So we'll have some discussion at the end about who we think is our winner. And hopefully the chat will pop in as well with what you guys like as far as
Thank you.
our selections. So next up on the board, because the snake draft is me. So I'm going to start the next round. If my stream deck will do the thing. There we go. All right. So next on the list, I am going with my unfinished bourbon. I know a lot of them went off the board in the first round, and that's fine. But I love unfinished bourbon. It is obviously, I think, we think of it as the running back or the workhorse of everybody's collection. So that is where I'm going with this round. And this is a bottle that I have called Stag-like before, and I really enjoy it as an unfinished bourbon. And that is Woodford Masters Collection Batch Proof. So this is, I believe, 2023's edition. It comes in at 124.7 proof, and it is amazing. I know this one is unopened, but I've had it before, and I will open it with sufficient time to get everybody samples. So that is Woodford Masters Collection Batch Proof, 127 or 124.7. Let me put that in real quick. And then we are going to pass it off to Tom the Bourbon Jerk. You are on the clock.
All right. I'm going to go for my world whiskey here. And I don't have a whole lot of world whiskey that fits into this category. So I'll go with my best scotch, which is going to be a lot of your least favorite samples. But it's a good one. It's the Belvany Sherry Cask 15 year.
To be fair, I think that is a bourbon drinker's.
Chris
Scotch.
is shaking his head no. He's a hater.
Well, the great part about blind is it might be better than they think it is. All right, moving on to the Besties. What you guys got?
Wait.
It's us?
Yes, you are the Besties.
We're having a hard time hearing.
Okay, fair enough.
This one?
Yeah.
All right.
Finish.
We're going to go with the finished whiskey on this one.
Wait, can I say something? And for anybody that's ever watched anything we've ever done, this is going to be a huge shock.
Yeah, it's going to be. I called up, while we were waiting, I called up somebody that's very near and dear to my heart, and I asked him if it was okay if I chose this. And he said, go for it, because he's a huge Big Stick fan. So for the finished whiskey, we're going with 2XO Phoenix.
I had already written 2XO, and I was going to write Phoenix. But Pheonix, right? I think. Whatever.
Chris
If
is
it's wrong, it's
punished.
wrong.
I've done it for a month now. No ice cream.
The fact that I didn't, the fact that it wasn't Nulu honey in the finish category is kind of like.
Yeah, that was a both of you pick, not a one of you pick, and I appreciate it.
It was.
All right, moving on to Chris from Bourbon of the Week. Let's go.
I'm gonna go with my. See, this is tough. I don't know where I want to go here. I'm gonna go with a little selfless plug while we're here because I think this bottle is absolutely fantastic, and this is a Backbone pick, which is a double oak rye that is out of this world that I got to pick with a couple other channels. So, Backbone double oaked rye. I believe it's 26 months in the first barrel, and then it's almost 5 years old. So the rest of it's in the second barrel, and it is phenomenal. Backbone is MGP for those who do not know. I believe it's a 95.5 from MGP, and then double oaked. It's sweet, it's delicious, and it's gonna be my pick for my finish.
All right, is that
for my
for American whiskey or
no?
Finnish whiskey?
That's my American whiskey. Yes, American whiskey.
Okay. Awesome. I hope to one day try it. All right, moving on to the whiskey break. You are on the clock.
Yes, we are going to go with our gem, actually. And this might come as a surprise because it's kind of it's a sleeper pick, kind of, as a gem. So we're going to go with our Redwood Empire Haystack Needle. And this one's finished in apple brandy barrels for how many years? 14.
Yeah, so 14-year MGP, then finished in the apple brandy at 110 proof. So
yes. This is their 2022 release.
Yeah. We're big Redwood Empire fans in general. This isn't their distillate. We really like their distillate, but this is kind of a 14-year MGP. Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, I had the Haystack in white Zin barrels, and I actually very much enjoyed that. So
yeah,
fantastic pick. All right, moving on to Bryan. Let's go.
Awesome. Cringed a little when the Bourbon Besties picked, but I think I'm safe. So for my finished whiskey, I am going to go with the 2XO Gem of Kentucky single barrel.
All right. And that is a different line. If you had picked one,
I can do barrel 70 or 73.
That's up to you.
73.
Okay. All right, perfect. Round 4 is in the books. How's everybody feel about it?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Going quick.
It is going very quick, yes. Everybody did their homework.
Yeah.
The Phoenix and the Gem of Kentucky that Bryan picked are both very good bottles. So I'm excited about both of those.
Yeah.
I forget what else got picked.
I was
I
back
have the
and
memory
forth.
of a goldfish.
I was back and forth because that sneakerhead is really good.
It is.
I've heard great things about the sneakerhead as well.
Sneakerhead's amazing.
Also very good.
Yeah, we only have the innkeeper, so we'll see.
I think I got the first 3, but none of the last ones that came out this year.
I do feel like the Phoenix is probably one of the best regular releases that's come out in the past few years. So that's a solid pick.
Better than the Gem of Kentucky.
Those Gem of Kentuckys are good. A little pricey, but they're really good.
Yeah, they vary, and I feel like the Gem of Kentuckys are good on a fresh crack. So you're all going to be getting a fresh crack.
All right.
Bryan, you need to tell them how you got that.
Oh, yeah, that was on clearance at
nice.
where'd we go? Liquor
Party
Warehouse,
Source, right?
Party Source, yeah, in Kentucky.
Nice.
So those bottles are $199 retail. They were on clearance for $80.
Oh wow!
Blowing them out.
Yeah,
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed them on them a few times at 200. If they're like 150 or less, we probably would have gotten one of them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, $80 for a double oak single barrel.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
hard
awesome.
to beat.
I did see in the comments someone mentioned Alberta Premium Cash Strength. That was our backup for World Whiskey if someone took Fountain North ahead of us.
Charles is now in with the majority. He's got 2 picks in the bottle raffle. He loves the 2XO Gem of Kentucky bottles 33 and 35. My wife says 0 slip-ups for the pregnant lady. Thanks for their strength in stubbornness and being introverted.
She's correct.
Yeah. Picking up that comment that you were talking about, Jonathan. I'm surprised that no one picked the Alberta Premium Cast Strength. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good bottle.
It's just Whistle Pig, but at cash strength and half the price. So it's a good ride.
Yeah. The Whistle Pig at cask strength thing is the biggest thing, though, because Whistle Pig has an aversion to high proof whiskey.
Yep.
So, Chris from Bourbon of the Week, how can people get a bottle of your Backbone pick?
Ooh, the rye, I believe there might only be a very few. There was like 15 left at the time. It's on Shared Pour. You can find it in my Instagram link in bio. It's on Shared Pour. There's the Backbone, but we did 3 barrel picks from Backbone. The rye was really good. They have like a regular, just their 4.5-year-old bourbon, and then we sold out of an 8-year Kelvin bourbon. But the 4.5-year-old bourbon is $50. I think the rye was 70. Double oaked rye was 70. That the $50 bourbon was fantastic for the price, and then the rye was I thought I was gonna like the 8-year Kelvin better, and I ended up liking the rye better. So link in bio for any of those.
Yeah, that Sticky Icky, that 4-year one for $50, one of the best values that I've come across this year or last, I would say for sure.
That's a really good bottle.
Yeah, so if you are watching this and you are not following all of the creators here, the link to all of their socials is in the description. Please check them all out. They all, except Bryan, but Bryan makes Instagram content. So check everybody out. And any surprises for anybody in this past round?
Oh.
You know, you said you went with that Woodford batch proof, right?
Yes.
And that was 23?
Yes. This is 2023,
okay.
124.7.
Yeah, I really like 22, but 23, they made the bottle smaller and the price higher. Yes. So I was out.
Yeah, it is the first that Elizabeth McCall blended as well as their master blender or master distiller, I guess. But I found it to be vastly different and a lot more my thing than the previous versions. So I was all in on the newer batch proofs, including this year's with a 121.2. Yeah. So, all right. You guys ready for the next round?
Last round.
Yeah.
Yeah, last round. I mean, we are straight up zipping through this.
Cruising.
So,
less than an hour.
I missed that, Chris. I think I talked over you.
Of course you did. I'm used to it. I said less than an hour. It's unbelievable.
I mean, we're not done yet. We have some conversation. We have some fun to have.
Go healthy.
All right. All right. Here we go. Last round. I'm on the board. Let's go. So, I have an American whiskey, a gem of my collection, old whiskey, an unfinished bourbon. So I need a finished whiskey, and kind of talking through this because I really don't do any prep aside from all the visuals and stuff. So kind of fly by the seat of my pants as we go. So I'm going to go probably something wood finished, I would think. Probably a bourbon. Just I feel like that's the group consensus thing. Let's take a look. Allen double oaked off the board. Yeah, we're gonna go with it. All right. So for my pick, I'm gonna go with Maker's Mark Heart Release. That is finished with virgin oak stave, so it is wood finished. And I came in right under the clock, so you guys can, I'm sure, yell about that, but I can't hear you. So Sucks for you. Wood. As my finished whiskey. All right. Moving on to Tom the Bourbon Jerk. You are on the clock.
All right, so I think the only one I've got left here is a finished whiskey, and I'm kind of like looking over my shoulder trying to see what can I get in here. What I'm going to pick is the new Riff 6-year malted rye sherry cask finish, which is one of my favorites of the year.
All right. Sounds like a great one. New Riff, 6-year rye sherry. All right. Moving on. Besties, you are on the clock.
All me.
It's all your pick.
I was also going to do a shameless plug for our Knob Creek pick, like
Oh, please
You know.
do.
like Chris did, and I was going to pick that one, but I feel like instead we are going to pick something that I think most people may not have had.
I guarantee you at least half the people here have not had it.
It'll be interesting to see. So we're going to go with Black Hill Small Batch
For our unfinished bourbon.
for our unfinished bourbon.
Okay. I'm sorry. What was that again?
Black Maple Hill Small Batch.
Okay. Yep.
An adorable little bottle. And you're going to love it.
It's possible.
Whoa.
All right. We'll talk shameless plugs in the finish here, but now we are going to from Bourbon of the Week. You are on the clock.
I believe I also have my finished whiskey remaining, and I am
Yes.
going to go with a bottle that I did not even know about. Somebody recommended as another potential 2024 whiskey of the year. Definitely a top finished whiskey of the year, which is going to be Bardstown Bourbon Company Amrut. I believe I'm saying that correctly. AMRUT. This is a blend of straight bourbons and ryes finished in Amrut Indian single malt barrels. It is complex. It is unique. It is different. It is delicious. It's 110 proof. It's a blend of 8 and 9-year-old rye whiskeys and 10 to 14-year-old unfinished bourbons. So it's a blend of finished ryes with non-finished bourbons. So I'm hoping that counts and there's no. Okay, that makes sense.
It's
Okay.
finished. The
Beautiful.
least part of the blend is
Finished.
finished. I'll allow it.
Right. We'll
All
allow it.
right. Moving
Beautiful.
on to the whiskey break. You are on the
Yeah.
clock.
Last one. We're going to do our American whiskey. So we're going to go with a TKO single barrel pick from Del Mesa Liquor down in San Diego.
Yeah, this is Rare Character Single Barrel Rye. So these TKO series are experimental Dickel rye that they just did a run of, and then Rare Character bought them. So it's 8 years old, and this one is 128 proof. And we think it tastes like candy and just crazy for a rye. So
Yeah, crazy that it's not finished.
Awesome. I have not had much Rare Character stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to maybe trying that possibly if I end up with some. All right, moving on to Bryan. Bryan, last pick of the draft. Where are you going?
I have to go to World Whiskey because we're being forced to. But so John knows I'm not a Scotch guy because I don't like chewing on gym socks. But I do enjoy some Canadian rye, and probably my favorite Canadian rye just to drink straight, even though it's lower proof, is Whistle Pig 12-year, the old year, the wine finished one.
All right, Whistle Pig 12-year. I was thinking about this before the draft as whether or not Whistle Pig counts as world whiskey, but we'll allow it. Because they are technically U.S. based, but not going to split hairs here.
All right, thanks.
All right. The draft is over.
Ooh.
And Chris is gone.
Good. Good.
It's a fantastic chair you got there, Chris. Looks real comfy. All right. Any surprises in the 5th round?
I was kind of surprised that Chris picked that Amrut finish or that Amrut collab with Bardstown because this says he hates Scotch. Amroot has very it's very scotchy, at least to me.
Mhm.
It is.
So that was interesting. And I've had that. It's really good.
Has
Yeah, I
anyone
wonder
had
how
any of
finished that
the
bottle
Scotch
tastes.
finished bourbons, like the 117 series from Old Forester?
I haven't had that. What was that one that Barrel did? Within the last year, that was like a blend of a Scotch finish and something else. It was like a shit.
I'm
I
not
can't think. It
sure.
was like a tale of two somethings.
Oh yeah, yeah. They did like that's when they did like the Amberana and like a Mizunara and I thought a rum one, a bunch of stuff.
I think I like John's pick best because that heart release from Makers. Love that bottle. A lot of chocolate and maple notes, and even the wife loved that bottle. Every time I give it to her, she loves it.
Well, while we're speaking of that pick, I think we need to watch the review on that because I don't think John got the snap off before the clock hit 0. So therefore, that pick does not count. I think we need to watch a review on that. I'm definitely throwing a red flag on that one. Because the way I saw it, the clock hit 0 before he announced what his pick is. So, doesn't count.
So if he's over a minute, what is he? What do we do? Substitute like Basil Hayden or what?
Water, Basil Hayden.
I mean,
So,
it has
yeah.
to be a finished
It's
whiskey.
either one.
Jim Beam White Label.
Yeah.
Jim Beam white label. I do have a Jim Beam double oaked, but that would be fun for the purposes of the blind.
Yeah, I do.
Over here.
No, it's somewhere over there.
Finished. All right, and then final mine.
Does anyone hate their team or hate the pick going?
Here's the things I'm most surprised by. I'm surprised there is not a single Old Forester. I'm surprised there's no Knob Creek. I'm surprised so much Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
It was very Jack heavy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
I'm
3
not
out of the
surprised
first
that-
round were Jack Daniels.
Oh, wait,
He's
Chris
back.
is back.
I have an easy win. I had to walk away just to gather my thoughts on this easy victory, path to victory this year.
We were talking about your Amroot pick being a little interesting.
You don't like it?
I haven't personally.
I said it was interesting that you picked it because Amroot it is to me is very Scotch-like. And
see, it's a very unique flavor. I don't get much Scotch influence. I also have very little knowledge and Scotch drinking experience. So maybe there's an influence that I can't tell on the back end, but I think it's unique, and I wanted to try and throw something. The finished whiskey, I think, is going to be one of the ones where somebody's got to come up with something real good. So
yeah,
everything else is going to be tough.
I think we want to try that new riff Sheri finish because we've been contemplating.
Yeah, it's killer. Have you had the 6-year malted rye on its own?
No, that's the one we've been thinking about buying.
Yeah.
We don't get a ton of new riff out in our area, but we've seen that on the shelf.
Yeah, that one seemed well. I think the Sheri finish was distillery only, and then they put some into their third-party vendor who sells it online. That's where I got it.
Nice.
This is going to be interesting for sure.
So I didn't realize until we kind of got started here that all of us won't be trying all of these. It's going to be random as far as what we end up receiving. Okay.
Yep. So 30 whiskeys, you'll try half of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going to be a good night.
You don't have to try all 30 in one night, Chris.
You do. Why not?
That's good content.
Or you could.
It's
content. I don't know if it's good content. I don't think any of us is Fred
You
Minnick.
give John all the Scotch ones and Irish, just because I don't think anyone else's palate will rate it highly.
Yeah.
Well,
I think this
maybe
is going to be
next year.
close.
Yeah,
I think it's random.
think
Right?
everybody's got at least one whiskey that I like. I'm very interested in trying.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm curious to
think-
see if all the high proof ones kind of dominate or
Yeah.
this through.
Yeah, so from a from a logistical point of view. I'm going to give you guys each of your samples. There will be a sample number on it, and then there will be a number for what order I think you should do them in.
Nice.
So
It's gonna be low to high in terms of proof.
It might be. Some of it, if it's close in proof, like Rise might come after a higher proof bourbon or something like that, just because of that. Like if you end up doing some of them together, like I will probably do one or two at a time just to knock them out. But
And we'll probably get
15.
Yeah,
ahead,
and we'll
John.
probably get 3 from each category. So like 3 gems, 3 or not all world whiskey basically.
Right. No, you'll get some of each. So I need to kind of go over with my wife exactly how we're going to do this, so I have no part of it.
Yeah.
But I need to do the legwork so then I can.
0.
So is it possible you send us back our own samples?
Yes, it is very possible.
That'd be fun.
If I get 5 of my own, I'm just like trash. Trash.
That is the absolute fun of it.
We kind of wanted
we're
to throw
talking-
just a super budget bottle in to see.
Old Forester 100 proof rye.
Yeah, Rare
Wins
Breed
it.
ends up being all of our top rated. That'd be
Yeah.
so fun.
It might be. I'll be honest with you. Rare Breed's good.
It'll beat some.
Shit, from South Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually have a couple South Carolina people in here because Johnny is now in South Carolina, and I know that because I have merch that I need to send him and just haven't done that. So, Old Pirate Bourbon is in the house. What is the chat entry? You have done so. Congratulations, you are in on the chat.
Nice.
We're gonna we'll go. I mean, however, naturally here. I have a couple of topics that I want to talk about before we're done here, and then some shameless plugs, and then we'll get to our raffles. But we are raffling for super chats for this bottle of Russell's Reserve. It is a pick from one of my favorite places, and it is a Tyrone F 4th floor, and then chats enter you in to win one of our brand new hats. So that is what we're doing. You've got a little bit of time left to enter that. If you had to vote for one team that's not yours to win this whole thing, who would you vote for?
I'm going Bryan.
Wow.
We're shameless
Yeah,
Buffalo
Trace fans.
Yeah.
And he has
Same.
that JB twice barreled, which is one of my favorites. So
Yeah, Brian didn't mess around with his picks here, just kind of looking
Yeah.
at the recap.
he used that first pick wisely.
That was the plan. I think Gooch. I think I would vote for him.
That's me, by the way. If anyone didn't know, that's my last name. Chris.
Going with
What?
you.
No, you can't. That's your team, Chris.
No.
Can't vote for me?
Now we know how he won last time.
Brown.
Sometimes you got to vote for yourself. What am I voting for? Anybody but myself?
Yes, if you had to pick a team not yours that you would say is the winner, just based on looks, how would you go?
Just based on looks, none of you guys. I can tell you that. I'm just kidding. Easy. Oh, this is tough. There's like 2 in every one that I love, and then 3 that I have literal no idea if I'm going to like them or hate them. Ooh. That bourbon bomber. No, that's me. Never mind. I don't. Pappy Dreamin' might be. I mean, Stag's good. That twice barrel rye is going to be good. GTS is obviously fantastic. I love 2XO. Whistle Pig, I'm kind of hesitant on, but that's just because of price more than anything else. But if that's taken out of the equation, Pappy Dreamin' is going to be a good one.
Tom, I think you're the only one who hasn't weighed in on this.
Oh, I said Brian's team looks solid.
Okay,
With
I must have missed that.
Wow, that's
You know,
not
with
He's
the-
cheating. He's
with the
cheating
yeah.
though with that GTS.
kinda,
So we all can't have unicorn bottles, lying around.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's
I know
played
John. I know
Besties,
Goose has got some. I know John's got some there on the shelf.
Oh, he's guys see it. Is VVS in here? VVS stunting. What
Yeah.
is it?
You need a gem.
That's a
VVS.
gem, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's got Old Rip too. Old Rip's one of my favorite pours.
I do have Old Rip, yes.
Have to be willing to give up 3 ounces though. That's
I actually took that to a
John with
couple bottle
BB
shares. I do like it, but to me, like anything is worth being shared. Like there was nothing. I have a batch too that I actually of 13th Colony Double Oaked that Tom stole from me. I had measured it earlier to make sure I had 3 ounces of it. But then
Yeah, I was looking at it. I've done a good job of kind of pacing myself with that one.
Yeah,
and hoping that I get another one this year.
But John with the Woodford, he's got VVS and he's got the Heart Release from Makers. Those are all 3 great pours too, on their own.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Woodford, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy that personally. But I haven't had that particular release. So
have you
the
had any of
23
the ones
was
that
harsh to me. The 23 was a little harsh to me, a little overproofed, taste or drank over its proof. But the 24, the 121 proof, is like a chocolate bomb. So if you haven't had that, you should try that.
Chris, have you had any of the ones that Elizabeth McCall has blended? That was last year's.
No, I haven't. No. That's why I haven't had it in a little bit. So okay, I'll be interested to see.
Yeah. Somebody put in for next year, great format. You should add a budget category. So, what categories do you guys think that we should change for next year? Should we shake things up a little bit?
Ooh, under $25.
Yeah, bottom shelfer.
There might not be anything under $25 by next year. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's
30 or 40.
Might have to make it 30. Yeah, might have to make it 30.
Pretty much the whole benchmark line.
They're still under there, depending on where you find them.
Where though?
Yeah, Jersey has them over that sometimes.
Yeah. You could do a craft.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like craft. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good ideas.
And we got to define craft. Is Sagamore craft?
Yeah.
Probably just
Your own.
Right.
Yeah, craft is tough because then
Mine would be CYPB.
Yeah.
Somebody
If they
crafted
force
it.
Is it craft?
Is it any good?
That's why craft is tough. I have that conversation with a lot of people. Craft is tough.
Sheri and I got into an argument about whether or not sourced whiskey counts as craft.
Craft is. And John already plays the rules however he wants to feel like it.
Ooh, throwing shit.
I honestly don't know.
Sourced from who?
Iron Fist over there.
Anyone.
Yeah, you can't source from Wild Turkey and call it craft whiskey.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't source from MGP and call it craft whiskey.
I agree. I would agree with that.
I agree 100%.
Now,
yeah.
my line of differentiation is if you have contract distilled versus actual like finished product. So like I wouldn't consider Smoke Wagon to be a craft distillery. I would consider them to be a blender. I would consider Old Carter to be a blender. However, like Bardstown Bourbon Company, when they first came out, were doing contract distilled whiskey. So I think there's a huge like difference there for me, because it's not like you're just going and you're picking out like, okay, I want this 15-year-old whiskey from the top floor, this 12-year-old from the bottom floor. Like it is a blend then. So everything barrel does is a blend.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my line of differentiation. So craft is tough because
A lot of rules there.
yeah. who defines what craft is?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, there are some big, like Wilderness Trail. Do they count as craft anymore?
That's where if there's no legality behind the definition, then it becomes tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a question: has anybody bought a Wilderness Trail bottle this year?
Yes.
Did you?
Yep.
That was the brand that seemed like they were really going to explode maybe last year or the year before, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard any real buzz out of there this year at all.
They do a lot of picks, I think, which is where a lot of people
Yeah.
find their good stuff, which is tough because if you're not in on the pick or you don't have access to it, then it's one thing. So if they don't have nationwide releases, they're not going to be able to keep up with the demand on it.
I don't even think I've seen that many picks this year.
I've
at
seen a
least
few
around
out
here.
there floating around. Yeah, I get the seal box and the shared pour emails, and there's always something on there from them. But again, it's like if I didn't know about the pick or who's doing it, I can't reach out and be like, "What is it? What are you telling me about it?" Then it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else
Chris-
could be added or changed.
Chris Cager, there is an option in the chat to do a super chat. It's basically through YouTube. So that is how you enter for the bottle. Johnny Deansage, say craft category.
Similar
Yeah,
to
so-
craft, you could do non-Kentucky, non-MGP distilled. That's closer.
Yeah.
We already
Yeah,
did a lot of
that's-
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
there's-
mean, and
I mean,
That's
Bart
more
Summer.
Jack.
If
Yeah.
none of
Some
you guys
brewing
like
companies.
Scotch, I mean, you could probably ace out the world whiskey next year too.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I've always been gentleman in whiskey because I like all types of whiskey, even though my world whiskey videos absolutely flop every single time. But that's fine. I make them because I like them.
Right.
But you know, like there's a lot of good whiskey out there, and that is my intention with the world whiskey category, especially now that we're doing like tastings. I think there's going to be some that surprise people that maybe you wouldn't think are actually, you know, world whiskeys. So I think there's a lot of that potential in there, or maybe you'll just be sniffing them out and hating them. That's
It
possible.
might be
too.
interesting to see, you know, since we're all kind of getting, you know, more exposed to American single malts, if that maybe piques more interest into, you know, Scotch and
I just thought about that too. You could branch out rye into its own category, and then American whiskey has to be non-rye and non-bourbon, and then you get a lot more Burrais and American single malts.
Chris is shaking his head no to this.
I don't know what's happening to this community, but I don't like it.
Westward is good.
Yeah, Westward's good.
That's
I actually
one.
really
There's
like Virginia Distilling Company. I think they're doing a lot of really good stuff with their American single malts. They have an ice cider cask that is really, really good.
So I got an
I wanna
idea
try
for
it.
next year that we can try and incorporate. It would be more logistical, but I think since we have different categories and like people, we were worried about overlap and everything like that, and I think some categories should, like in fantasy football itself, have more value than others. So if your quarterback wins, you get first place in the quarterback. Maybe that gives you 10 points towards whatever we do. And then if you're, I don't know, your finished whiskey, or maybe your world whiskey, since we're all not versed in the world whiskey, maybe that's like your kicker where, okay, you won that, but not everybody really likes world whiskey. So that's only 3 points for that win. And then 2 points if you're second place and 1 point if you're third, just to kind of give it, then we don't worry. We're like more worried about who's picking in which order, because we don't want to lose that big gem to
gem
lose
being
that
worth
10 points.
double or something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Whatever. Again, you'd have to figure out mathematically what makes sense, but I think that would be a more fun way, because then you're kind of more honed in on, okay, this is going off the board. I want to make sure we don't lose that spot.
Yeah, but quarterbacks in the 4th round. That's the fantasy football rules, man.
I mean, maybe
Running backs and
maybe
wide
one-
receivers first.
and maybe you make the gem your running back or your wide receiver. We just call it something. Just that way
You
you're
could
more
just do a sleeper
focused
pick, and then you could pick whatever you want
True.
Yeah,
in that
flex-
category.
Get your
I
flex
actually kind of like
category
that.
in.
Do a wild card.
Sleeper pick, yeah.
Flex.
Yeah, your
position.
flex.
Yep,
Flex,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think we have a lot of ideas for next year. I think we'll probably end up adding teams for next year. We were going to do this almost a month ago, and then we were on day of, and a couple of people dropped out last minute, so we just ended up doing a hangout live stream, and it was a lot of fun. Chris just disappearing again.
I was part of that.
It was not just you though, so
I know. I was the domino that made it all fall, though.
that's fair. You were the first.
I was the first.
So we might do
We'll see
8
if we make
teams next year. We might do more categories. I mean, we've ripped through this. I think last year it took us closer to 2 hours, because I think we had 7 positions last year. We had basically 2 unfinished
We had 2
bourbons
for-
and
yeah.
2 I want to say Finnish whiskeys.
I think it was either finished or American.
Yeah, I think it was.
And we
Finnish.
had
I
a
think-
budget last year. It made it a little easier or harder to research, I say. And when
Yeah.
somebody picked your bottle, you had to find a replacement that was within your budget.
Within the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
seems
so-
a little technical. Let me ask you guys this. Since we did whip through the draft, it did seem like most of you guys knew what your picks were before we even started. Is that fair to say?
No.
Without the budget, I think it made it a lot easier. And I
Yeah.
think that, I mean, again, other than the unfinished bourbon, there was not a lot of nobody really had. Maybe a few of you were thinking something, but there was plenty of other options that you didn't have to go in within that budget. So just knowing your collection too. Last year, I don't think we had to have it in our collection. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, you just said
There
you had to
wasn't
have
actually-
access to it.
Yeah, and I mean that's
Yeah.
you don't have to own it this year. You just have to be
Right.
able
You had to have
buy
it.
bars
Right.
to
But
get this
I
one.
could like last year, I could just be like George T. Stagg,
Right.
and just it is what it. Now nobody can pick George T. Stagg. So to have to own it, I think is cool because we all have enough of a collection that it makes it interesting and kind of also shows off our collections without trying to be too snobby about it.
Exactly. Yeah, we basically just planned 2 options per category, and
Hoped.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
yeah,
Yeah.
We prepped
Bourbon
6
Besties.
category.
6 per category.
Yeah.
Wow.
Harry, you do too much.
I
had
don't know.
2 for 2 categories. I had 1 for the. I didn't think anybody. I mean, if somebody said gold spot, I was out. I was like, JMO, it is. I didn't really have.
Yeah, I think I think the last time would have been a lot of fun with Chris because they had a bottle share at their house, and Chris was a little toasty at the beginning of the live that we did. So flying by the seat of his pants would have been amazing.
Can't point to him that way, I guess.
Who? That Chris?
Not me.
You, Chris.
Not me. You, Dad.
Me?
You got
I was not at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
We also
I would've
have
called
like,
you double
live
O.
studio audience.
Could have called you Elijah Craig. You were so toasted. Are you kidding me?
I mean, at least you didn't call me Penelope, or Hayden. But anyway, no, I was not. We had a live studio audience. They were the ones that were drunk.
You did have a live studio audience, and it was a lot of fun. All right, so seems like we're coming down to the wire here. If there is one whiskey on this list that you hope that you get, what is it?
I'm going GTS, and then I'm going VBS. Those are my 2 for sure.
What was the second one you said?
That old Fitz. I want to try that 13-year-old Fitz.
And I would agree with that. The Old Fitz would be the one I want to try. I haven't opened mine yet.
You said you haven't opened your own, and let me get a sample of this one. Don't take it all forever for yourself.
Well, I would
Let's try
say
it.
the
I don't know
Russell's
if it-
15, but I think I have a sample of that somewhere that I just haven't got to yet.
Well, if you don't, let me know.
I appreciate that. They, I follow one of the local stores on Facebook, and the other day they put it up. Hey, we got Russell's 15. It'll go fast. So I go over there. Yeah, he wanted $500. So, the heck you say?
Yeah.
It's more
All
than
right.
secondary. You can get it on
No.
secondary for $420.
Oh, well, I was thinking it would be 3, but when he said 5, I was like, all right, dude. So, yeah.
that's tough.
all right. What would you pick?
The George T. Stagg, probably.
So I'm gonna pick one that I feel like nobody else picked.
Somebody did.
No, I mean not for like if you could try one thing. So my try one thing is not any of the ones anybody said. If I could try any of them, the one I would pick is the Redwood Empire Haystack. I love Finnish. Like I'm a Finnish. That's my favorite. So to me, when I saw that one, I was like, oh my God, please let us get that one. Please let us get that one. I was managing it for our household.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Hope we get all Brian's picks so we can just crap on them.
I'm actually hoping to get all the whiskey breaks picked because pretty much everything they picked I have not tried.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah, we tried to go a little bit not as popular when we could, but still
Yeah.
still good. I think for us it would actually be the 13th Colony Double Oaked. I think
Definitely.
we might like the George T. Stag better, but we've had chances to try that at a bar.
Yeah.
13th Colony just doesn't get out to California. So
Mm.
I'm a huge Double Oaked fan in general. So that very well.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I tried it, a lot of people equate it to like being stag-like. I think it's a GTS competitor, personally.
Nice.
So at some point, I will, as soon as I open my GTS from last year, I'll make that video, and it'll be interesting doing that blind. But
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. The 13th Colony Double Oaked and the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill are like two whiskeys that we've just never seen, but we would pay up for a pour.
fair enough.
Yep.
I'm actually interested in your rare character. I think that's one that I haven't had a whole lot of rare character, and seeing them online, especially they always seem a little bit more expensive than I feel like they're like worth in context of other whiskeys around them.
Yeah.
But,
So before a couple months ago, we'd never had anything rare character, and we only started getting these TKO picks because Bourbon Junkies mentioned them. And it's a completely unique rye. And so now we've actually gotten 3 TKO picks. We just get them every time we see them because they're like $100, 115, and everything we've seen.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Yeah, everything we've seen too is that those barrels got distilled and they sold, and then like Dickel's never going to make them again. And so even to Dickel haters, it doesn't taste mineral or anything like that. It's just super candy. So one of the most unique bottles we have.
Yeah, some of the older Dickel stuff I think loses that minerality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chris and Sheri, you guys have a pick to support a charity. Please talk about that.
Oh,
Lord.
sorry.
What is wrong with you? I swear. We do. We have a Knob Creek 120 proof single barrel pick that we did with our friends at Tomar's in New Jersey. And it is a short barrel. There were only 96 bottles, which was both a blessing and a curse for me because I was stressing out a little bit about actually being able to sell them and do good things for this charity. The charity is called Team Foster. They're an amazing veterans charity. They not only do work for getting service animals to veterans, but part of that for them is advocacy and awareness. They're also working through legislation. They are also doing some really great things in their training program. That's probably the most exciting part for me when I talk to the guys over there and they talk about the training process. Not only do they partner with a company that trains dogs to be service animals, but they actually get veterans involved in that process. So the veterans are helping to train those animals. So any one dog, instead of only affecting one veteran, can affect up to like 12 to 15 through the training process, which is really amazing. So we're big supporters of, the veteran community. That's my big thing. We do a big raffle every spring. So we collect bottles for that. We did a really, really big raffle last year. John helped. Everybody from the Bourbon Squad helped. So Chris Littlewood, Bryan, all the guys from 717, PA Bourbon Squad, big proponents of that raffle. So we have our pick. I'm going to show it to you because I have it and it's adorable. Look at my cute little doggy. Look at him.
Cute.
He's so cute. Canine Creek. And we have 19 bottles left before it sells out.
Nice.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah, she was stressing a little bit about it, but we sold a case while we were in Jersey.
Yeah.
Nice.
In the store.
Yeah.
We cracked one and somebody who'd bought 4 more.
Yeah, it was, it's awesome. It's just a good lead up to,
Spring.
our spring thing. Yeah.
Chris Cager is actually in the chat and he has some bottles also already ready to donate. We probably have 65 or 70 bottles already donated for the spring raffle. Last year we had 240. So
And raised $63,000.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's crazy because even some of the bigger raffles, like the Pappy raffle every year only brings in 15,000. Like you're doing some crazy work.
Yeah, that's wild.
Thank you.
Okay,
We
so
try.
how do people get one of those picks?
If they visit the Bourbon Besties Instagram page and message me, I will send them all the details. Or if you happen to be the PA Bourbon Squad, you can also find me in there. There's about 3 or 4 posts about it there, but I just posted it today on our Instagram channel. So
keep in mind, there's only 19 bottles left. So
Yeah.
once they're gone, that's it. There'll never be another pick like this. I mean, and let me tell you, this pick, I love Knob Creek. I mean, everybody knows that. That was my first love. But this bottle, I don't even remember the same when we did the pick. I don't remember it being this good.
Yeah.
We were all a little
Awesome.
toasty when we tried it.
I'm never
It's always
toasty.
the fun part. All right, folks. It has been awesome. I'm really looking forward to the content that comes out of this and doing this regular season. And then I will see you all at some point in December. We will kind of go through this and we'll do some reveals. We'll kind of more carefully plan that content just so we kind of talk and think about what we've had. And it'll be a fun time, I think. So thank you all for participating. If you guys want to follow them, all of the links are in the description. If you haven't heard my spiel already, just got to keep pumping it out because everybody in this deserves your likes, your follows, and the content. So we're going to get to some giveaways. So I'm going to bid adieu to all of our participants. Thank you for being a part of it.
Bye.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank
John,
you.
you put
Thank
together
you.
another amazing stream as always. You do such good work when it comes to the visuals and everything. So that's a lot of work, people behind the scenes who don't know about that. That's a lot of work to make it look as good as it does. So
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Canva and I hang out a lot, so it's a fun time. All right. Hey,
Yeah.
I will see you all later. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Bye.
see you, John.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
All right. Ooh, this one still has Chris in it.
You
We're
kick us
gonna-
out? No, keep me in it.
This is
Keep
the
me
wheel
in it.
This is the wheel from the stream that we did earlier. So
Perfect.
I'm gonna kick you out though.
Oh
right.
my gosh, disrespectful.
I know it's me. Later.
See ya.
Move source from scene. Okay, window capture. I had not set this up so that we Wheel of Names. Bear with me. I had not prepared for this because I didn't think about it because I had 30 things that I was trying to set up all at once. That's why. It's being dumb. All right, last couple times to get in your super chats if you want to join to win a bottle of Russell's. It is a Tyrone F. It's not doing the thing. Okay, window capture. There we go. All right. My apologies for the technical difficulties here. This thing is being dumb with a capital D. Does not like all the stuff that I'm running right now. Could probably just clear those out, clear that out. So we're going to do for the merch item first. And I have those names loaded up as soon as I can get the wheel to the right size. This thing is being so slow today. I apologize for how this looks. If in the meantime you guys want to check out the description and follow all the accounts that were a part of this tonight, they did an awesome job. Very thankful for each and every one of them being a part of this. It has been a fun time. We are so thankful for having friends who make content here on YouTube and having just people who are willing to be part of our stupid shenanigans that we make content out of. It is great to have the besties. We had Bourbon Jerk and Whiskey Break. They are some of our newest friends in the whiskey community, so go check them out. They're all making content. But without further ado, we have all of the comments in. I believe everybody is in here. We have, I think it is, how many? We have 17 names to win one of these. This is our brand new hats. They are available in the merch shop. We also have these shirts in the merch shop if you are interested in one of those. And if you look back at the stream, the whiskey season t-shirts that the Bourbon Besties were wearing are also limited edition. They're in our merch shop as well. So check that out. Link is in the description or in the chat. My wife has been posting stuff and been a rock star at that. So without further ado, to win a hat, let's go. All right, Tiffany Hensel. I'm going to fix that so it shows. Thank you for commenting. I believe that is Tom from the Bourbon Jerk's wife. So we will be sending that out to them. And finally, we have a few names that entered to win this bottle of Russell's store pick, Russell Single Barrel. It is a Tyrone F. It is a 4th floor. It is 8 years old, and it has been picked by one of my favorite stores. Shout out to Nick from Sawville's Markets. He is awesome. Love him. And he will be on an upcoming live stream where we do State of the Industry. It's nice to hear kind of a conversation between a store and it's nice to see things from the store perspective versus the consumer perspective, and he has a lot of insight for us. So that will be happening very soon. But for this bottle, for the people who chatted, there's a few names on here multiple times. I do want to double check because I think Charles put in more than 3. 2, 3. So Charles should be on here. He is, okay. He's on here 3 times. I just can't read because it's in different colors. So, to win this beautiful bottle of Russell's Single Barrel, and it is Charles. I'm going to say a little. I really hope I didn't butcher your name. So, we're going to take that. If you go into the description for this video, go into my link tree. There is a link in there to contact us. Or if you just email me at gentlemanandwhiskey@gmail.com so I can get your address and I can ship this out to you, that would be awesome. Thank you to all who came out tonight. We had a fun time. It's going to be great with kind of getting content from all of this stuff. Congrats, Tiffany from Bourbon of the Week. She'll get a kick out of that. That's awesome. Well, maybe she'll loan it to you. Tom, great to have you. Always a great time. Thank you for the kind words of amazing content. Thank you to, I saw Johnny in here somewhere. Johnny, Dean, always a good time on a G&W Live. I have your stuff packaged up and I will get that to you very, very soon. Congrats, Charles. So thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate all that you guys do. If you want to support the channel, you can check out our merch shop, or you can check out memberships here on YouTube. They are down below. We're going to start doing more members-only content, access to our Discord. There's a lot of other fun stuff, including emojis and priority response to comments and stuff like this, where we do super chats to be entered. You'll be automatically entered. So that's $2 a month. Saves you $3 on a super chat, or if you want an extra, that's fine. But check that link in underneath this video. If you like this content, check out our other videos. Please like and comment on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Helps us out a ton. And we hope you'll join us in drinking like a gentleman. Cheers.